Hi guys, and welcome back to the Average Pundits podcast, your home for everything Premier League. As always, I'm here with my very good colleague Reese Williams.
How are we doing today?
And I'm Joe Brody, and we will be running you through the Premier League results which have just gone, and we've got a very good topic for you guys today. Without further ado, should we jump into it, Reese?
Absolutely.
Awesome. First score to talk about, we've got Bournemouth beating Brighton 3-1.
Absolutely.
That was a good little result for Bournemouth. It's a side which has been struggling a bit recently. Goals again from Harry Wilson. Again, if you were previously listening to the podcast, Harry Wilson went in the average category, or did he go in poor?
He went in average.
Okay, went in average. I mean, you never know. Could see a little bit of movement from Harry Wilson if he keeps this up. Pascal Gross with the own goal and Callum Wilson. And then we had Aaron Moy as well, making a little appearance. Was that his first appearance for Brian? Was he at Huddersfield before?
He was at Huddersfield before.
Yeah, and then he made a little move in the January transfer window. Moving on from that, Aston Villa's 2-1 win against Watford. Goals from Douglas Luiz and Tyrone Mings finishing the game late, and Troy Deeney. Aston Villa, again, right now, in form which needs to become a little bit more consistent. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you saw Aston Villa are now in the final of the Cup.
It's not the FA Cup, the other one.
The League Cup.
Yeah,
they reached the final of that the other day, so that was an amazing little result for them. And if they can keep it up in the Prem as well, I mean, beating Watford, I mean, it's not maybe the biggest challenge they may have to come.
Beat Leicester as well, so
they did, yeah, they did.
A new sign, was the new sign is Samarata? Is that what his name?
Yeah, from the Belgian league.
Close to scoring, but not quite. But I think Villa have a nice little sign on the rounds there.
Yeah, hopefully Villa can turn it around. I mean, I think we both like to see Villa in the Prem. You know,
yeah,
bit here and there.
Sure, why not?
Southampton's 2-0 win against Palace. I mean, what a turnaround Southampton have had fairly recently.
Absolutely, they are coming into their own at this point.
Yeah, but I tell you what, though, no goal from Danny Ings,
which is very surprising. I think I said at the beginning I wouldn't be surprised if Danny Ings hit double figures. Yeah. Look where he is now. He's among the top five, I think. Yeah,
something like that. I mean, goals from Redmond and Armstrong. Obviously, Southampton. I mean, you're going to keep this run of form up again. It wasn't too long ago I thought Southampton were doomed.
Absolutely, and
it's the Premier League. You know, you really don't know what to expect with this league.
Moving up, in the table as well. Like they're in a very good run of form, which has seen them, move up to 9th above Arsenal.
That's crazy, considering where they were a while ago. I mean, that was actually kind of mental.
Mm-hmm.
Man City's 1-0 win against Sheffield. Nothing too exciting there from Man City. A late winner as well. Yeah. Aguero in the 73rd. I mean, in that game, obviously City were dominating on shots. I think they had 18 in the game. Only 5 of them registered on target, mind. But I mean, the most impressive result for City.
Not flattering by City, but that just shows the defensive prowess of Sheffield United.
Yeah, and Sheffield have been a force to be reckoned with so far in the Premier League. They've been a good little addition. I tell you what, this game did actually catch me off guard. Newcastle-Everton, drawing 2-2.
Everton threw away a 2-0 lead.
I don't know how they bottled that in an emphatic way as well from Newcastle.
5 minutes to the end, saw the Geordie men from Lejeune.
Yeah, 2 goals.
What game he had. Calvert-Lewin got man of the match though, but
again he's been in good form as well. Yeah, Calvert-Lewin.
Since Moise Kean as well. Moise Kean get a goal, surprising goal. He's starting to come to his own as well. I think Ancelotti's getting the best out of a lot of players that Marco Silva couldn't.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. It obviously shows Ancelotti's still got holes in that squad, but I mean who else do you get to bring that team fixed than Ancelotti?
I mean they are favourites currently to sign James Rodriguez.
That's mad. That would be a crazy signing, just in terms of actual status. I mean, what a crazy signing.
A leader in the locker room as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. What about Chelsea's draw with Arsenal? I mean, I watched this game, and
David Luiz getting sent off isn't a surprise.
Yeah, it was terrible as well. It was such a bad decision. But I mean, against the old club. I mean, obviously, I think a lot of Chelsea fans probably happy to see him off.
Absolutely.
But great little conversion from Jorginho, great penalty. And then Martinelli scored a phenomenal goal as well. He is looking like a good player.
I think he's going to be one of the more promising players to come out of Arsenal.
Yeah, they've got a lot of good young players, but I mean Martinelli right now, I think he went under the radar a bit. I mean, I think they've got themselves a good little signing.
And obviously, Aspilicueta taking the lead before Hector Bellerin equalises in the dying embers of the game.
Yeah, a lot of Arsenal fans were being criticised for celebrating that 2-2 draw. Obviously, I mean the overall feeling of the game, the limbs of the game was pretty high. But I mean, at the end of the day, one of those teams should probably have maybe got the result in that. But I mean, an interesting thing to watch.
Arteta hasn't got a lot of experience in managerial experience at all.
No.
So Arsenal fans having that sort of a manager and drawing 2-2 with a Chelsea side that are in form, it's a great result.
Yeah, it's a good result for us. I mean, hopefully for them, hopefully they can retain a little bit more form. Arteta's still got time to prove himself, of course, but we'll have to see where it goes. Leicester's 4-1 defeation of West Ham.
Oh, what can you say? Dominance all around.
Yeah. Again, Iosi Perez, good end of the game.
Yeah, I mean he converted a penalty very very well, and
he picked up the last
he
goal.
basically just finished West Ham off. Mark Noble tried to clamber back with a penalty.
I think West Ham have got quite a long way to go. You good, mate?
I'm dying. I'm really bad. Oh, this is a bad way right now.
Reese on the ropes, but we prevail.
We'll carry on. The show goes on.
But West Ham, obviously, I think they have got quite a lot to do in that team. Obviously, they got Moyes in. Moyes sometimes can steer a ship in the right direction. I mean, hopefully he can for them, but I mean, I think West Ham's quite a big project right now.
Yeah, I think they need quite a few players to bring in
some reinforcements
in the summer.
Tottenham, Norwich City, 2-1 to Tottenham. Mr. Dominic Cabron, guest of the Average Pundits, he was in attendance of this game. Obviously, very happy to see the result. Maybe not the most exciting game there. I mean, it was a draw at the 70th minute with Timo Pukki converting from the penalty spot after Dele Alli's early goal, with Heung-Min Son coming to the rescue at the end today. Good from Tottenham, but it still needs to be a bit more convincing.
Could be better. Absolutely, could be better with the caliber of squad that they've got.
100%.
I mean, losing Christian Eriksen now as well is very very bad for them. But they have to bring someone else in.
That is true. If you weren't aware, Christian Eriksen has completed his move to Inter Milan with Steven Bergwijn coming in from PSV.
Bergwijn from
as well.
PSV.
All to come. Hopefully they give us a few more talking points. Will Tottenham miss Eriksen, and will Bergwijn hopefully add a little bit to the squad?
Maybe. Who knows?
Coming on to a very disappointing result for myself, Burnley beating Manchester United 2-0 in the Premier League.
What a screamer from Jay Rodriguez, my ass.
Oh, it was a phenomenal goal, wasn't it?
De Gea was never getting
that. It was
Absolutely.
A great goal. I mean, dominance from United, stats-wise, more shots on target.
Nick Pope's had a fantastic game. He is England's number one, no doubt.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal keeper.
I'm starting to think it's Pope and Henderson. I think Henderson's probably got that second spot.
Henderson's the second spot, but definitely
Pickford is slipping down that pecking order.
It's because he's just not. He was never good enough. I mean, he's a great shot stopper, but his distribution's poor. Also, his ability to catch the ball as well and handle it.
Yeah,
it's not as good as keepers should be.
Well, I mean, all in all, from United, that was a team which had plenty of holes, and obviously a convincing 6-0 win in the FA Cup against Tranmere.
Absolutely,
but not really able to convert that into the Premier League, so I wouldn't really say it's a direct comparison. It's good to see a lot of players get on the score sheet. As we are sat here now, currently, the word on the street is Bruno Fernandes is flying into Manchester for a medical, a long sought out player, which was discussed on the episode last week. Someone who I feel that the club have been after for a very long time. There's been a lot of ins and outs to do with the fee. All in all, I'm extremely excited to see if he can kind of bring a little bit of a balance to the midfield, because God knows we need it.
Yeah, I mean, you've increased your offer to 46.6 million plus add-ons, which obviously is very enticing for Sporting to like. I think they felt insulted, but you're gonna add a lot to that midfield. Whether you were able to maintain form or not is
I think it shows he definitely wanted this move. I think he's been angling this move to the Prem. I think us and Tottenham, and I think Liverpool were poking around as well. I think those are the three clubs which showed the most interest. But again, it's all to kind of see at the moment. Hopefully, I can report happy news at some point on our Instagram page, but we will see very soon. And the final game of the Premier League from the last week was Liverpool's 2-1 beating against Wolverhampton. A late Roberto Firmino goal.
Yeah, in the dying embers of the game, it's sort of what we do now.
Yeah. You're kind of adopted that Fergie time kind of element recently.
Apart from it's not in like the 90 plus minutes, it's in like the 80th minute. We always seem to clamber back as a team.
I don't think the game was particularly exciting. I think it was always going to be a tough game because obviously Wolverhampton will give you tests anyway, and going to the Molineux was not fun. It's not
at all, and I think that they came in with a very, very good tactical situation with because between our wing backs, one's obviously faster than the other. Trent is not as fast as Robertson.
Yeah.
So they switched the wing, Adama to that left wing to challenge. Excuse me. To challenge Trent Alexander-Arnold, which he was able to get an assist from that position as well.
Yeah. So there we go then, guys. That was your Premier League week. Moving on now to our regular featured segment, Reese's favourite segment. We've got the hype train. Reese, who have we got this week?
So, I've got quite a few actually. One of which is our fantastic Dele Alli.
Dele Alli, okay. Okay, Dele Alli's an interesting player. From my point of view, there is no doubt in my mind that he's not a talented player.
Yeah.
I think sometimes in the past, maybe whether it be media perception or maybe whether it is translated onto the pitch, maybe anger sometimes gets the best out of him, or sometimes gets the worst out of him in games. Sometimes that aggression kind of pushed him forward. Sometimes it's a bit of a hindrance. We've seen him lose his head a couple of times before in the past. But since Mourinho's come in and adopted this new kind of style for Tottenham, obviously it's still very early days, but early on in the season we saw him get some good results out of Ali. Some very good results, very good performances. Whereas under Poch towards the end he was a little bit quieter. So personally for me, I'd probably put him in good. I don't like average.
Is he right now? Is he the starter of the Spurs team?
I don't think he is. I think right now, I mean, because of Kane's injury right now, I'm not sure where the star is. I think it's almost Lo Celso.
Yeah, or Lucas Moura maybe.
I think even then, Lucas Moura I think has been a bit quieter recently. I think Lo Celso's been the one getting the last couple of games. He's looked very convincing, which is I think why obviously Tottenham also completed the permanent signing of it.
Yes, they did. Signed him to a deal that goes on to 2025, I believe.
So potentially a good little acquisition there from Tottenham.
Absolutely.
Where would you pop Dele Alli, Reece?
On his day, he's a fantastic player. But I would have to put him in star for now because he's a bit old for the prospect category, and you can't not put him in average. He's not an average player. He's definitely above average. But I think if we're looking at it as in a tier, he would be verging on the bottom end of star for real. Like he is nowhere near the other stars in that list.
Again, just reminding the viewers of the categories. What have we got, Reece?
So we have the bottom of the bottom, so it's poor. Then we have average, prospect, star, and world class.
I was going to say, I would have been more tempted to pop him again in average, and in no real disrespect to him, but I feel like at the moment, I mean, at the early start of the season, maybe he was the star of that team. But I feel like when Tottenham are fit and flying, it's Kane FC. It's Kane FC, and I think even then, Son is just below him, I'd say.
I think, if we're looking at Dele Alli now, bang average player.
Out of compromise, I think we pop maybe average.
He is an average player.
There is every chance he proves us wrong.
Someone that probably also should go into the average, maybe a bit poor. He's getting on a bit now. Juan Mata.
Yeah, Juan Mata. I think there's no doubt he goes into average. I mean, the career that he's had has been extremely good. I mean, he's had loads of highlights in his career. He's been a very, very good servant for Manchester United since we signed him. I mean, he's been at the club since Moyes came in, so he's been there since 2013-14. So I mean, he's been there for an awful long time, coming up 7 years.
Yeah.
And in that time, maybe he hasn't always been the dominant force of that team or the most spoke about person, but he's been able to slot in every now and again. I think for career's sake, I mean, he could even possibly put him higher in the end of his career, but I think right now he's a perfect average player for the Prem.
Yeah.
Occasional appearances, maybe he may be on his way out soon, but I think average is a good place to pop in.
He might end up at Inter Milan as well with Ashley Young.
Yeah, you never know. The rest of the United team seems to be there, so you never know.
But yeah, two people in the average carriage in this episode. My bad, sorry.
Who else we got, mate?
I think we're done for that.
We're done.
Yep, that's everyone for this week's episode of the Hot Train.
What class? Well, I mean, I want to thank everyone for submitting their opinions and their people on Instagram Twitter, via our business email, and on the YouTube comment section. You can contact us any way possible throughout all of these channels. We do check regularly, and as always, your feedback is extremely sought after. So thank you very much, guys.
Please feedback on our Twitter at Pundits Average and our Instagram at Average Pundits, and our business email, theaveragepundits@outlook.com.
Perfect. There we go. So today's topic, we have an interesting one. I think this is something which it's probably going to be revisited, and it's been something we've been planning for a while, but we thought it would be good to talk about today. I mean, obviously, the season so far has had plenty of very questionable decisions by VAR.
Yeah.
And it's something which I feel deserves a little bit of a discussion. I mean, at some point, like I said, it may be revisited, but today we have a few different topics we want to discuss about VAR decisions of the season so far.
So, for those that don't know, VAR is the Video Assistant Referee. It was implemented into the World Cup and other European competitions run by UEFA, and it's now been placed into the Premier League this season, in the 2019-2020 season. And it's become come under a lot of fire, basically, for overruling decisions or not overruling decisions that necessarily would have led to goals or other teams like losing games. And we are going to run through a few of those decisions that have affected the table. Right now, there's a table of VAR overturns, the net score that would have added on points. At the bottom of that is Norwich City. They are struggling massively with overturns with VAR. And surprisingly, Brighton and Hove Albion have got plus six on their score with VAR overturns.
That is crazy, isn't it?
And a lot of people like to say live VAR, Paul. No, you're wrong. It's +1. And Manchester United fans, +4. So, no.
Honestly, again, though, you see it in the games, though. There's so many things which I think VAR doesn't catch for Liverpool. That's what I think. That's what I think is the main thing. I mean, I think that's where the outrage has come before in the past. I mean, you only have to look at Twitter after a Liverpool game to see the Premier League uproar and the uprising. But I mean, I feel like it's opinion based really, and this is the main argument. VAR is a lot of the time it's very opinion based. A lot of these decisions you'd be thinking, well, this would have never have got called in a couple of years back.
Exactly. Who do you think is the only team to not have an overturn against them via VAR?
None at all.
Yep. There's one team in the Premier League.
Oh, it's gonna be something weird. It's gonna be something like Burnley.
You were close with the style of play. Very gristly, very Sean Dyche type of play.
Very Sean Dyche-esque.
Newcastle.
Oh, wow. Okay, so
Newcastle
Newcastle's had nothing.
Have had no overturns from VAR.
Wow.
But yeah, total overturns this season, 72. That were 18 of those were leading to goals and 38 leading to disallowed goals.
Wow. Jeez. I mean, that just proves to me how much this has come in, and it has rocked the league. Genuinely, a lot of heads have been very perplexed by some of the decisions. And what we wanted to do is go through a few of the Premier League's most controversial to date so far, and just give a little bit of a conversation, a little bit of an opinion. More recently, the one I want to kick off with, obviously there's going to be a few to talk about. Liverpool actually had a very questionable decision against them when Firmino's armpit was registered offside. Do you remember the game, Reese?
I do. It's very well documented.
It was just bizarre. It was against Villa, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was very strange. I mean, obviously, everyone was kind of watching it, and they were just perplexed. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
I mean, I don't know how the linesman missed it, to be honest.
No.
And then again, I don't know how the VAR missed it. As a Liverpool fan, obviously you want to see your team win. It was offside. Absolutely. You can't knock VAR. It looks at it and they somehow missed it. I don't know what is going on in that VAR booth, but whether it is the fact that they want, to keep the game flowing or whatever it is, but or whether it's easier to let it slide. It's you don't.
It's the debate, isn't it? I mean that is kind of where we're at the moment. It's these certain decisions where it's like, did that really need to be pulled up or not?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of results for us. Against Chelsea, Mason Mount was offside in the build-up.
Yeah,
We had James Tompkins' goal ruled out from Jordan Ayew's push. And Pedro Neto was offside in the build up to for Johnny as well against Wolves.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the most recent ones again, which again was causing a few heads to roll so far, David Silva against Bournemouth. David Silva was absolutely. It was a strange decision. So what basically happened was Jefferson Lerma treading on Silva's boot.
Yeah.
Albeit looking fairly accidental. I mean, it didn't look 100%, but it was there. Contact was made. Yeah. Silva goes down in the box. No penalty. So they double checked. They had a look, and again, no penalty. But again, I looked at it and I thought they were definitely going to give it.
Yeah.
Because contact in the box, he tripped him. Obviously, again, accidental, but as long as the contact was there, then. But again, it was just one of these decisions where somehow it doesn't get called.
Yeah, I mean, if you're stomped on your foot, you go down, you look at the VAR and you think, no, like surely, like I was watching that game live and I was thinking, where's the penalty for that? Like, why isn't that a penalty? David Silva's blatantly been fouled in the box, but sometimes like maybe VAR shouldn't be in, like, because they are ruining the flow of the game and they are missing stuff that referees have already missed.
Is it ruining the feel of the game live, do you think?
I think so, yeah, because like you have to go to although in the World Cup I think it was different because you'd see the referee running over to the screen, but it wasn't used so much.
Yeah,
I think they just need to lower the usage of VAR so much it just ruins the flow of the game.
It's just one of those things. In theory, on paper, this is phenomenal. This is amazing. Like what a thing that can be implemented into the league.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the application, and it just seems to be completely broken.
Yeah.
Or just so many double standards for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one that I want to move on to, Liverpool again, in a very recent game, one that happened 2 weeks ago against Manchester United. David De Gea, I put this in quotation marks, fouled by Virgil van Dijk in the box in the lead up to a disallowed goal by Roberto Firmino.
Yeah.
Both men went into the air. David De Gea catches the ball.
Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk goes in for a header at the same time as David De Gea. Virgil van Dijk doesn't have his hands in the air. De Gea drops the ball, goes back to Firmino, and he puts it in the net. And the referee doesn't see a problem with it until review of VAR, and the VAR referee, the referees in the studio, disallowed the goal.
Yeah,
I think it was just David De Gea being a bit of a weakling, if I'm honest.
Unbiasedly, I watched it, and it probably wasn't.
I mean, even Gary Neville said he would have given it, and he's the biggest Man United supporter there is at this point in punditry.
That's the thing about punditry. You've got to be as unbiased as you can, especially when you're looking at a game black and white. I mean, if you want to give your opinion, I mean, your opinion's your opinion. But if you're being black and white and you're looking at the facts, then you've got to be vague, haven't you? You've got to be open. And maybe it was a bad call. I mean, De Gea doing what he thought he had to do there. Yeah, not something you normally see from David De Gea. But
no, not since his Tesco donut days. I'll keep referring that. I'll keep referring to that. But I love it. I love a good donut steal.
But yeah, it was another debatable one, another questionable one. Again, another one which I was thinking of, which came to my mind, another one relating to Bournemouth. Did you see when Tielemans completely just went at Callum Wilson?
Yes, absolutely.
And it should have been what everyone's reaction was like. Yeah, red card, straight red, and he somehow stayed on the pitch.
It was absolutely bizarre how they managed that. Honestly,
it's crazy, wasn't it?
It's so weird. Like watching that as well, how he stayed on the pitch was absurd. It's
mental, isn't it? That's another one that straight away I was again thinking, okay, right. It seems like black and white decisions. It seems like something which is like, okay, yeah, this is straight away. I know what's going on.
The referee should have saw that and be like, yeah, I don't need to go to VAR for this.
Yeah,
I need to send this guy off because of that challenge. It was horrible, but like it's Leicester City have had 10 overturns this season.
10 overturns.
10 overturns.
That's crazy.
Like, it's absolutely it's bonkers how many overturns they have had in the Premier League this season. I mean, they've probably had more, to be honest. I'm going off an article at the minute,
but at the moment it's registered around 10.
I mean, by the 23rd of January. So, was there games after that? I think there might have been. No. From the 23rd of January, Leicester City have had 10 overalls.
That is crazy.
Overturns.
Isn't it? That is absolutely crazy.
I'm pretty sure they have the most overturns in the Premier League.
I was going to say, I mean, another one, Tottenham, they had that Dele Alli's leveller against Watford.
Yes.
That looks a bit debatable, which they ruled out, didn't they? Because it was like they thought his arm was illegally in play.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, though, like, or was it no? Did they sanction it in the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sanctioned it, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then they went in and sorry, that was I misspoke. And Watford were fuming.
Yeah, they did.
Again, that's another weird one. Just like contact in the box, clear contact, and just somehow it just isn't enough.
But then again, speaking of Tottenham, that very the first game that made people think, oh, VAR is going to be a problem.
Yeah. Sheffield
Sheffield United, David McGoldrick was apparently offside in the build-up for John Lundstrom's goal. I'm pretty sure it was an equaliser, or it was either an equaliser or to put them in front. But it rescued Spurs that game. Yeah. They should have lost. And everyone, not even just Sheffield United fans, I was fuming because
a general uproar.
Yeah, absolutely, because they should have had the goal. They should have beaten Spurs that game.
It's frustrating seeing a clear decision robbed, isn't it? Because again, and obviously, if it's your club as well, then obviously you're fuming. But
yeah, again,
it's just frustrating because it's like, well, if that's not a call, then what about what about this one? What about this one? What about this one? And I think that's the worry I think we're into at the moment. Is VAR's credibility getting ruined? I mean, that's I think is the main argument. So as these controversial results come in and out, more and more people are torn between whether it keeps in or keeps out. Obviously, very fast approaching. You've got the Euros.
Yes. You've got the Euros. That, I mean, of course, it's going to be used in there.
Yeah.
But hopefully, in UEFA terms, that the way it was shown in the World Cup, with the lack of stoppages, they run to them. They actually use the monitor themselves.
Yeah.
And it doesn't ruin the flow of the game as much. I mean, I just think the World Cup was fantastic, and so I think if we're looking at VAR, I think it should stay in.
Yeah.
However, I don't think it should be used as much.
Where's the cap? Where would you say, like, okay, where do we reduce the usage?
Every single decision that needs to be made, like every single decision that's been made, doesn't need VAR.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be done for a corner. It doesn't need to be done for a handball. If the referee doesn't see a handball, don't give it. Unless it's to do with a penalty.
There's been some very, very big handball calls for penalties that VAR has sanctioned, hasn't there? There's been some huge ones.
Offsides, the linesman should get, and like I said with the Lundstrom goal, wasn't offside. Yeah. VAR ruled it offside. I have no idea how they managed that, but either that or they should be very clear on what they do.
Maybe a revised kind of look into the system, and then a public kind of definition, a public kind of appreciation, like to the fan base, saying, okay, right, this is what VAR is, this is the rules for VAR, this is where it will be used, this is when it won't. Because again, another argument, like I said earlier, was the double standards, like it being used for one thing and not being used for another thing. And it's like, well, this is the same incident. Like, how are you not seeing there is a clear link here? So again, it's frustrating to see where it's going to lead us to. I'm very excited for the Euros. Obviously, the Euros outside of our traditional average pundits coverage. Again, same with the Champions League and then the Championship and the lower leagues down. We are, again, avid football fans. We do keep up to date with these competitions, but we want to keep this internally Premier League focused. But forms of the Champions League, the Europa League, and the League Cups and the FA Cup, we are again extremely up to date with all of this stuff right now.
I mean, as long as we're looking at VAR overturns as well, decisions 4. Brighton and Hove Albion have had 8-4. Crystal Palace having 6. Like, there's 3 teams having 6, and you wouldn't expect them at all. To be fair, like the top 4 teams that you'd expect to have the most overturns, is Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United all have 4 overturns 4. Whereas obviously Brighton have had 8, 4. That's double. The most against have been Sheffield United and Norwich with 7, and West Ham.
I think Sheffield United having the most against and yet still being in quite a good position where they are now, a testament to them as a team.
Absolutely, they're phenomenal.
They've had a very good Premier League. I mean, obviously Norwich and West Ham struggling a little bit more, but again, very good to see from Sheffield.
Yeah,
I think all in all, at the moment we've got a long way to come before it gets perfected, in my opinion.
Yeah,
we've got an awful long way to come, and it is about being patient, and it is about all of this. But the argument, if it isn't up and working now, then why is it being rolled out into the leagues?
Yeah, I think it needed to be perfected first.
Yeah.
Have a system in place. Make sure that the referees are trained that are looking at this, because no way are they spotting everything.
No. I mean, it's impossible for them to. I mean, they already have an extremely difficult job. I mean, obviously, the introduction of this here, overruling and overturning certain decisions, it must be frustrating. I mean, obviously, they've got to rely on their staff around them as well to get the results in. It's interesting watching like when you watch BBC Sport and stuff, you have Howard Webb up in the box sometimes giving you kind of some of his opinions and everything. It's interesting to see a referee off the pitch give their kind of overall call of what's going on. So I mean, I think that's a really valuable insight. I mean, I think it does require a lot more transparency between referees and the fans, because I mean, we're going to see it live as well. Again, there are 2 clubs in the Premier League which still don't have screens at their grounds.
Yes.
And that is Manchester United and Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean, I think there needs to be... You know how in rugby and American football, the referees have a microphone?
Yeah.
So they can tell the crowd what what is it called? I think it's called like eagle eye or something.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
They need something like that whilst they are checking. Like, they can say, we are checking for this.
I don't think it ruins anything. I think what it does is create a more transparent dialogue between the fans and everyone watching at home.
Yeah, it helps the fans understand more.
Yeah.
Like, you can't help, like, the fans getting very agitated by VAR calls, especially when it's live, because it is ruining the game for them, because they have no idea what they're doing.
No, of course.
Like, obviously you got on the screens, like, possible own goal, possible handball, or possible offside.
But they don't know when and where.
No, I was watching the Liverpool game, and there was VAR. I heard on the tannoy that someone said it, but not everyone's listening to the tannoy.
No.
Or you have disabled fans. You've got deaf fans that go to the games simply for the atmosphere and to see a beautiful game.
Yeah.
They can't hear that.
I think how United and Liverpool haven't got the screens yet. I feel like it needs to be mandatory, needs to be enforced. They need to have a fine unless they put the screens up.
Yeah.
Whether it be they need to do a bit of shifting around, maybe they need to make some adjustments to the stadiums and stuff. I know obviously that is awful and that is a massive pain, but then again though, Old Trafford and Anfield, 2 grounds which could arguably need a bit of an update anyway.
I mean, we just put that new stand up, haven't we? Which cost quite a bit of money.
Yeah, I feel like Old Trafford's maybe due for a little bit of a renovation. I mean, obviously
your stadium hasn't had an upgrade in quite some time.
It's been a while. So a good stadium to go and see, but again, it's someone that does need a bit of a revamp maybe. Obviously, no stadium in the league is currently more up to date and more fitting than Tottenham Stadium. It is, and it is phenomenal.
It is. I mean, from the top of it, it looks like a toilet bowl.
Yeah.
But the pitch is phenomenal. I'm guessing to play on, and the facilities around the stadium. At the minute, I reckon they're second to none.
Yeah.
Whether that ruins the atmosphere of Tottenham, because I mean, if we look at Arsenal now, their stadium looks phenomenal, but their soul was left in Highbury.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they are playing way worse than they were back in the day in 2004. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what Arsene Wenger said. Yeah. Arsene Wenger said Arsenal's soul was left in Highbury, and they just didn't drag it to the Emirates because the stadium was too big. Yeah. It's like West Ham with their stadium as well, the Olympic Stadium. No soul in that stadium whatsoever. It's too big. It's not the working class club that West Ham are.
No.
It doesn't fit the atmosphere at all.
It doesn't fit their ethos background, does it?
No.
But I mean, VAR, I feel like the screens being enforced again is something to come, is something I think will happen. This topic again, we had a little bit of a brief introduction to this topic today. We went through a couple of our own controversial decisions, but this is something I feel we're going to have a bit more of an episode on.
There are going to be way more VAR decisions that are going to rile us up through the season. I mean, I've had a lot already, like that De Gea one really grinding my gears.
Yeah. If you guys were maybe possibly interested in some kind of VAR-based debate, if you would look at us possibly getting more guests on to discuss VAR, or if any of you guys listening at home want to come on and give your opinions, please, again, get in contact with us. We have all of the channels there. We've given you all the links and everything. It will be in the description for this video. But feel free, please get in contact with us.
Yes, please get in contact with our social media on Twitter at Pundits Average, on Instagram at Average Pundits, and our business email, theaveragepundits@outlook.com. Our socials, I am RW_journalism.
Yep, and I'm JB_journalism on Twitter.
So just contact either our personals, our main social media platforms of the podcast, or the email address provided in the description below.
There we go. So the final thing to do on the podcast, as normal, we have a few Premier League results that we need to predict, Reece.
Indeed. So
first game tonight.
Will the podcast be out by the time that game's been played?
I believe it will. I believe it should be out just a little bit before, possibly.
Yeah.
But there is one that we do have tonight.
Indeed. Well, it will definitely be out by the end of the result. West Ham United hosting Liverpool, the champions.
Yeah, I think Liverpool are going to go there. I think they're going to pick up a little 2-0 win. That's what I'm going to say right now.
Okay. I'm going to go for 3-1.
3-1. I think they may have a goal in them, maybe.
I think maybe, depending on how they're playing and how we're playing, because I have no idea, to be honest. We're unpredictable at times.
Yeah. But 3-1 for you, then?
I think so.
3-1. Leicester City versus Chelsea, and that's at home at Leicester. That's going to be a tough game, because right now Leicester obviously just coming off the back of a loss in the League Cup to Villa. Chelsea, a pretty unconvincing result against Arsenal with a 2-2.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a tough one. I reckon that's going to be a draw. I can see 1-1 going on that.
I'm going to say 2-2. I can see James Maddison and maybe Jamie Vardy.
Maddison and Vardy masterclass, yeah. I'm going to put 1-1 down for that. But both two draws, but two different draws. So we're going to have to see how that one pans out.
Hopefully, I get the 2 points. I'll have to update the graphics as well.
Newcastle Norwich.
I'm going to say 2-0 to Newcastle at this point. They are in very good form. For some reason, Steve Bruce is doing a masterclass, and I have no idea how.
They're definitely picking up. I'm going to put Newcastle to win. I'm going to say 2-1. I think in typical Norwich fashion, maybe they might have a little penalty. Pookie converts, or something will happen. But I'm going to put down 2-1 for that one. Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United.
I feel like Crystal Palace coming off that loss. Midweek, and Sheffield United are always in good form.
Yeah.
I think Sheffield United, they held Manchester City to 1 goal.
Yeah. So
I think Sheffield United have a place in the Premier League next season as well, and they're going to be fighting for that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for 2-1 to Sheffield United.
2-1 Sheffield, yeah. How about West Ham Brighton?
Oh, did you predict Palace?
The Palace. Oh no, I didn't predict the Palace. Palace Sheffield. I'm gonna put down 1-0 to Palace
1-0
on that one. I think it's gonna be Palace. West Ham Brighton.
Now, I am gonna say 1-0 to Brighton.
1-0 to Brighton, yeah.
Yeah, I think Brighton are, West Ham are playing tonight.
Yeah.
And they're also playing Sunday.
They are also playing Sunday.
Or is it Sunday? Or is it? Oh, it'll be Saturday.
It'll be Saturday. They're also playing
tonight and Saturday.
Because obviously they're
going to be burned.
Their game at hand. Same with Liverpool.
Yeah. Also, they've just been battered by Leicester.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, Brighton have also been handed their backsides by Bournemouth. But
yeah,
I think if we're looking at this game, I think Brighton have a goal in it against West Ham. West Ham are going to be run out, absolutely.
I think it's going to be 1-0 Brighton. Again, I don't think that's going to be the most exciting game.
Yeah. I mean, it could potentially be a 0-0 as well, but
one that could prove to be a little bit more fruitful, Bournemouth Villa. I think Bournemouth, again, picking up a little bit of fun, because Bournemouth are now turning on. These are two clubs which are like, yeah, we want to stay in the Prem, so what does it take to stay in the Prem? I think in this one, I think Bournemouth may win.
You think?
I think it's at home. I think Villa maybe go into it being slightly more the favourites, but I think Bournemouth might pick up a 2-1.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to pop down for that one. 2-1. I think I'm going to say.
I think I'm going to go for a draw.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be 1-1. Based on the fact that they both come off fantastic wins.
Yeah.
They're both in form right now. Samrata might get a goal, but then Callum Wilson is playing. You know, he's great this season as well. So.
What about Watford Everton, the old Marco Silva derby?
Watford aren't in good form at all.
No.
They aren't going to score. Everton, I picked them to get a goal, maybe 2, but at most I reckon it's going to be a Moise Keane tap in or something. But I say 1-0 Everton.
That's exactly the same way I was going for that one, mate. 1-0 Everton. I'm going to say for that one. I don't predict it being the most fruitful, but I think that'll be a good little result there. Liverpool Southampton. How poetic would it be for Southampton in the run of form they're in to get the points off Liverpool?
I mean,
please.
It'd be annoying.
Oh God, it would be incredible.
To say the least, but I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to go for a 4-1 to Liverpool at Anfield.
I'm going to say 2-1 to Liverpool.
Okay.
2-1. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring. I think Southampton are going to give them a run.
I thought you were going to chance it, like how I normally do with Man United.
It'll be a big call. I mean, I'd love to, but slight realist there.
Speaking of Manchester United, they're taking on Wolves at Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford, we're going to be hopefully a little bit more better than we were at the Molineux. I'm going to put down 1-0 United. I can already sense you're going the other way. But
How can you tell?
I'm going to put 1-0 United down. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
There will be 2. There will be a goal in it.
I reckon it's got Mason Greenwood's name on it.
Yeah, that one goal.
Or be it our new boy, Bruno Fernandes. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Big Bruno or Mason Greenwood to score 1 goal, but then Wolves have got 2 in him. Raul Jimenez and Jota, or that Neto. I think Wolves are going to beat you 2-1.
2-1. Burnley Arsenal.
Again, it's not going to be very good, is it?
I think Arsenal have going to get that one. I think it's going to be a 1-0 win for Arsenal.
You think?
I also don't think it's going to be fair. There's a lot of 1-0s this week, but I don't think it's going to be the most fruitful.
I think it's going to be 1-1.
1-1?
Yeah, I can't see Arsenal putting many past Burnley, and I can see them getting a goal.
And then finally, the most exciting game of the weekend, arguably, Tottenham-Manchester City. That's going to be tough. It's
going to be tough for Tottenham. I think Manchester City are going to batter them. At the Etihad.
I've got 3-0 City.
4-0.
3-0, 4-0.
I just think Tottenham are going to get absolutely run around the park. They have no legs at all. This Bergwijn may not even start. He may come off the bench.
That is true.
So, I don't think this team's got legs all the season. They might start playing well now that Eriksen's out the team.
Yeah.
However, their defence is all over the place. So, I think, it's going to be 4-0 to Manchester City.
We will have to see.
Indeed. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this week's podcast.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow us on our socials at Average Pundits on Twitter, at Pundits Average on Twitter, at Average Pundits on Instagram, and our business email, theaveragepundits@outlook.com.
And we will include our personal socials as well in the description as well, if you want to give us a little follow on there.
Absolutely.
But all in all, guys, you know where to contact us if you want to feature on the Average Pundits. But as always, thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.